Welcome back to another episode 5 of the Bizwisdom Show. Today, this is going to be hopefully just a quick, short one. Very hopefully, because I've got a meeting in 14 minutes, so I better wrap it up quickly. But yeah, just want to do a quick, snappy one. No fancy text overlays or anything like this. What I thought I'd do today is just share a little story that's with you about, about my run this morning. So, yeah, this very nearly, very nearly would be the first episode that those of you watching on a video-enabled medium would have had the horrible, distressing sight of seeing me in my active wear, sweating and puffing, because I very nearly recorded this show right at the end of a long run that I had today. I was pretty pumped and excited and wanted to share it with you. Luckily for all of you, I left my phone, our iPad, and yeah, in my bedroom, and my wife was still sound asleep by the time I got home, so I wasn't game to sneak in there and steal that back. And I'd left my laptop at the office, so I had no, and all the GoPros and other devices I had, so I had no way of recording it. So yeah, you dodged a bullet there. You get to you'll have to wait a little bit further to see me in my active wear. But what a horrible thought. But anyway, this is what I wanted to share today. So hopefully this isn't too much of an overshare, but this year I reached a new record, a new personal record, which was I hit the most overweight and out of shape that I've ever been in my life this year. So not a great record, and there was a few reasons for that. And I was putting my energy into some other things, and I thought that would make me feel really happy. It turns out, as successful as some of those other projects were, it didn't make me happy. And exercise is good for you. Who would have thought? So yeah, about a month ago, I decided that something needed to change, and I went and rediscovered 5 a.m. I made myself a promise that I would set my alarm for 5 a.m. every morning, including Saturday and Sunday, and I would try my best to get up at 5 a.m. and I would go and do some sort of exercise, nothing too crazy, but go for a run, go to the gym, or go for a walk, or something of that nature. And for the most part, I've done a pretty good job. I haven't necessarily jumped out of bed at 5 a.m. every morning, but the alarm's been set, it's gone off. I've got out of bed when I could finally do that, and I've done something. I'm feeling great, and it's awesome. But this week was really interesting. I just struggled this week. I couldn't get out of bed, and I struggled to get out, and my alarm was still set for 5 a.m., but I found myself, dragging myself out of bed at like closer to 6 a.m. than 5. And then there was one time there on Tuesday, I think, where I was like, putting on my running shoes to go out for a run, and found myself daydreaming, just staring at the ceiling for like 15 minutes. Just who knows what I was thinking about. And yesterday was the worst. It was like 6:30. I still hadn't actually left the house yet, and my children were starting to get up, and the idea of 5 a.m. is that I'm actually out and back mostly before my kids need breakfast, at least, if not before they're awake, and I can come out and help with all that. So and I started getting really down on myself. So like most days when I go for a run, I normally go for an 8K run, which is not too bad. And this week I had 3 days in a row where I could only fit in a 4K run. I ran out of time, and this is the overshare part for what it's worth. But I've been like 4 weeks in now. I haven't lost any weight, so I don't. Maybe I look a bit better. I don't know, but my body fat percentage is basically the same as it was. My weight hasn't moved, and I started feeling getting a bit down. And then, this week not being able to get out of bed and running for shorter runs. I guess 4Ks is still pretty good, maybe for but I was like, oh man, like this isn't working. It hasn't worked. and you're not getting any of the benefit. And now you can't even get out of bed on time, and those sort of thoughts of failure started creeping back in. But today, I managed to get out of bed a little bit earlier. I was up and out the door by 5:30, and I was going for a run, and I still wasn't, I was hoping to hit my normal 8Ks, but wasn't really planning anything. And I ended up running for just shy of 12Ks, which I'm stoked about. Yeah, like I think the most I've ever run is 16 kilometers. So it's getting up there towards the most I've ever run in a single session. And I know there's people out there doing half marathons and things, but I'm not competing with you, all right? Shut up. So, but like it's the longest run I've probably done in like 2 years, and I was stoked, and I didn't necessarily intend to. What I did was I normally sort of run a consistent route. Today I just ran different parts. Instead of turning right, I turned left, and I just saw where it would take me, and I got to the normal point where I loop around. I thought, no, I'll just go straight for a bit, and I ran around, and it was a real just sort of free run, just see where it takes me and hope I don't get lost. And I was stoked when I got back, and I'd had 12K. So, but it got me thinking, right, about success. This was a small success in life, but business is no different. Life is no different. And what popped into my mind towards the end of this run was this idea that success is non-linear, right? Anyone who's been around for any stretch of time knows that it's not a straight line to success. There's lots of bumps. I had a great conversation with someone the other day, about this concept of like it's a step, and you hit a roof, and then you go backwards, and you do all these things. And I thought this week was a nice illustration of that. It was, I took these backward steps, and I was only running 4Ks, but then I hit a new record. Well, it might not have been my all-time record, but it was a record for the last 2 years for me for sure. And I hit this new record, and that it's important to remind ourselves, I think, that just because you're not moving forward, just because you're not kicking every goal, and winning, and not everything you're doing is successful, that doesn't mean that you're not progressing towards that next milestone. And so today was a cool milestone for me personally on in a non-business context, in hitting that 12K mark, and maybe 12Ks can be the new 8Ks, and that'd be really nice. And maybe what I needed to hit that was a few days of 4K runs, a few days at half my normal rate, and that I wasn't failing. I was just setting myself and building that motivation that could only come from feeling like I hadn't given my all for a couple of days, and now I was able to get out there and give my all. And I was like, no, I'm going to push through. I'm going to go harder. I'm going to fight. I'm not giving up. This is going to work. And I think business can be like that too. Yeah. Particularly now, we're in some sort of a recession or a plateau or economic downturn of some sort. And, I know a lot of you and myself as well, we're doing it tougher. The sales are harder to close. Clients are harder to keep. There's a lot of pressure, and it can maybe feel like we're not succeeding. And that old adage that it's always darkest just before dawn, right? Like that next success might be that, just around the corner, and maybe those setbacks, maybe those failure points are exactly what we need to reset and re-energize ourselves and find that motivation that we need, or find the impetus to get to that next milestone, or like I did today, to do something a little bit different. I didn't take the normal run. I didn't run the normal course. I went left instead of going right, and maybe that's something that we can apply for business, right? Take a different course. The fact that we're struggling, or the fact that things aren't going well for us, can maybe give us that lease, that new lease, to be able to say, well, this isn't working for me. let's do it differently. Let's do the opposite of what we're doing. And that's certainly where I'm at as a business. I'll probably talk about this more over the time. My business, I've been, Bizwisdom's been around for 10 plus years now. We're into our 11th year, and that's great. We've achieved a lot of great things. But really, right now, I feel as a business owner that I'm starting from scratch all over again, and I'm resetting, and hopefully, today I achieved a record for me in my morning run, and maybe in business it'll be the same motivator. Try something different, take a different course, re-energize ourselves, and know that a few stumbles doesn't end our dreams, and that next success might be the next thing that you try, and keep trying. So that's it. That's my thought for today. I've done it in time to make my meeting, so that's good news. And I don't know, something a little bit different today, but hopefully, I don't know, maybe you take something out of that, and I'd love to hear if you do. So let me know. Let me know if this resonates with you. Please continue to comment, like, subscribe, all of those things at this early stage of the show. Every little engagement signal, every little signal that that you've enjoyed or watched or appreciated what I'm putting out there really means the world for me, and provides me the motivation to keep getting up each day and making time for these little things. So please do that. There's lots of other ways that I can support you, or other ways that you can connect with me in all the various show notes associated with this. So check those out, and otherwise just keep putting one foot in front of the other, and don't let the world's little failures and little stumbles get you down, because success is non-linear. Thanks for joining. See you next time.